All right, so we're here with the Business Witch Academy, and today we are talking about quarterly business planning. And I'm screen sharing so you can see the Quarterly Business Planner Workbook that's available through the Business Witch Academy. And so when we talk about quarterly business planning, it's really important to understand how much it can do for your business, because it's something that's easy to put off and not do or to procrastinate. But businesses that do quarterly planning see 30% more growth than those who don't. And they see it 60% faster. So there's really every reason to take the time and do some planning. And it doesn't have to take a very long time to do. Might take you a little longer the first time, getting the feel for it, but you should be able to do your quarterly planning in under an hour. And it is definitely well worth the time because it really just sets out that roadmap for the actions you need to take in order to reach your goals. So the first section in the business planner is actually yearly events, and it's just a place to record any big events that may be coming in the year or even seasonal changes that you just want to make sure that you don't miss. So, you might be doing a trade show or hosting event, you would want to put that on here. Or if you want to focus your business in different places because different things sell better in different seasons, you might also want to make note of those here just to keep that bird's eye view on things. And then we're going to go into our 1-year plan. And this is just a very high level plan. And what we're doing is we're kind of breaking out those goals we have for the year into our quarters. And we're going to set our objectives for each quarter. And so, if you're a new startup, the first quarter might be getting your business registered, creating a website, creating a social media account, something like that. And your second quarter might be getting out there and starting to do sales and promote the business. So you're going to break down your big idea for the year into what you want to achieve for each quarter and just make a bullet point list. There's not a lot of room here, and that's on purpose. This is just supposed to be high level. Put down what is that goal that you're trying to achieve. And you really probably don't want to have more than 3 big goals for each quarter. And so once you have those, you're going to highlight and copy what you've written down for this quarter, which is we're in Q2 now for 2024. And then you're going to come into the next section, which is our plan for this quarter, the 30, 60, 90-day plan. And so in the top box, you're going to paste your objectives for this quarter so that they're right in front of you and you can see them and work with them. And then you're going to break those objectives down even further into milestones for each month. And so you might have objectives that are only going to apply to a certain month. Maybe you need to do inventory at a certain time, or you've got an event at a certain time. And so you're going to put those things into the month where they apply. But then you're going to have others where you need to make progress on it every single month in order to reach that goal. And that's where you're going to break it down into smaller pieces in order to achieve that goal. So like in this scenario I gave you for a new startup business where maybe you need to register the business, you need to set up your branding, you need to set up a website, you're going to break those down into smaller pieces in order to launch the business. Because when you just say, I'm going to launch my business, that's really overwhelming. And it doesn't really give you any direction as to what it is you're actually going to do to make that happen. So these should be really, really very action oriented. You can use the template of I will, a verb, your action, and then an outcome. So in the example that's up on my screen, this is for the Business Witch Academy. One of my objectives for the quarter is to add 3 products to the online store. And so in the first 30 days, it's saying I will promote the Wheel of Woe, which is actually a product that I just added to the online store, but I need to finish it. It's there, but nobody knows it's there if I don't promote it. So I need to do the promotion for it. I've also got as a quarterly goal, grow membership. Well, that's really vague. How am I going to grow the membership, and how quickly? do I want to grow the membership? And so I've put into each one of these months the goal of adding 3 new members to the Business Witch community each month. I set a very low goal, and you can always adjust these. If you find that you're flying past it and you didn't aim high enough, adjust it. Or you can always make a goal lower too later on if that's what's necessary. So make your best guess and break it down into each 30 days. What do you need to do to achieve that goal? And then we're going to go into month 1, and we're going to break it down even further. So you're going to copy what you put in the space for the first 30 days, and you're going to paste it into the top box on the monthly planner page. And you're going to break that milestone or milestones down further into what I call Inchstones. And these are all about action items. This becomes your to-do list. So for my example of I will promote the Wheel of Woe Masterclass, my action items in order to promote that are to create social media posts and to create 2 articles. And for signing on 3 new members, I'm going to do that by visiting other BNI chapters, attending speed networking events, and creating a series of emails to follow up with the people that I've met and networked with in order to help get the word out and remind people of what it is that I'm doing. So you want to break it down into very action-oriented steps of what it's going to take to achieve your goal. And then you're going to break it down even further, and you're going to go week by week. And this is something that you don't do all at one go. You can make a start on it if you've got a good idea, but you want to incorporate weekly planning into your schedule, whether that's over the weekend, every Friday, every Monday, whatever works for your schedule, but you want to do it consistently. And so each week you're going to go back to that monthly plan, refresh your memory. What are my objectives? What are my Inchstones? And then which ones am I going to do this week, and how am I going to fit them into my schedule? And we've got a couple of different worksheets that can help you plan that. One is a place where you can record your weekly appointments, or if you're using a calendar, certainly you can have all your weekly appointments recorded in your calendar. Another page is the task planner, and at the top of the page, it gives you room to put in your Inchstones and priorities for the week. So what are your top 3 priorities for the week? Add them into the top box. And then there's 4 different boxes where you can record some of those action items. There's a list for who do you need to remember to call, email, or text. What are the active leads that you're tracking? And then what is your actual to-do list? These are the steps you're going to take to achieve those objectives for the week. And then there's an extra space for notes if you've got any extra information you just want to keep track of. And the next page that we have available to us is what's called the habit tracker. And it reminds us that we should repeat what works. We shouldn't keep inventing new things, because sometimes it takes time, especially in the world of marketing. It's really easy to place an ad somewhere once and not get any results and decide, that's it, not doing that again, off to the next thing. But marketing takes time. You have to get in front of people repeatedly in order to see those results. And so using a habit tracker to repeat what works can help remind you to do those things that you need to do each day. If you are searching Facebook for people who are looking for recommendations, then that's something you're probably going to want to do every day, or at least a couple of times a week. So you could add it to the habit tracker. Maybe you need to remember to post to your social media each day. You can add that to your habit tracker. Those things that you're going to do over and over again in order to promote your business or even maintain your business. Maybe you need to remember to send out invoices or quotes once a week. You can add that to a habit tracker. And then you just tick off on the days that you've done it so that you can look back over the week and see, well, how well did you do? If you were supposed to do it twice a week, did you do it? If you were supposed to do it every day, did you do it every day? And then you'll have a really clear idea at the end of the week of where you maybe need to put a little more attention to make sure that you're doing those repeating tasks consistently. So this helps to build consistency. And then we've got our weekly review. And so at the end of the week, you can kind of go back over, well, what were my monthly goals? What were my goals for the week? Did I achieve them? And it's really important to celebrate your wins, because it's easy to overlook those small things that happen that, you're just moving on to the next thing fast as can be. So it's good to take a moment and look back over your week and see, well, what went right, what worked, what was good, what was a step towards that bigger goal. And then also be really honest. What could have gone better? What didn't work out the way you expected it to? And jot it down, make a note, what could you have done better? And then, put some thought into how you're going to go about doing it better. So the weekly review can be really helpful to make sure that you're on track and that you're adapting as new information becomes available, as you learn, as you grow. And then you're going to repeat each week. And so the workbook has that same set of pages for weeks 2 through 5. Obviously, not every month has 5 weeks in it, but it's there just in case you need it. And then you're going to reach month 2, and you're going to do it all again. You're going to go back to that 30, 60, 90-day plan that you set out for the quarter. You're going to find those milestones that you wanted for the second month, and also revisit the ones for the first month. Make sure you made them. If not, you might have to adjust your plan. And you're going to break it down into your Inchstones, and you're going to carry those through week by week. Plan out your week, plan out your objectives, make your to-do list. And then you're going to find that you're making really good use of your time, because when you finish something and then you've got to sit there and figure out, well, what do I do next? You end up wasting time. You can waste a lot of time doing that, or you end up spending your time on things that aren't actually getting you results. And so when you have that really clear to-do list, you don't spend that time figuring out what comes next or wasting time on something because it caught your attention. You can go back to that list and boom, check it off, did this thing, move on to the next thing. And you can stay really, really focused in your efforts so that you actually reach and exceed the goals that you've set for yourself. So Andrew, that kind of covers all the basics. Did you have any questions?
Sorry, pain. I was trying to get to the unmute thing because I'm using my GPS. No, I mean, it's pretty clear. Kind of, I get the having a clear list. Makes sense, because if you're not clear on what you want to do, then you're gonna, like you said, you're wasting too much time trying to figure out the next step in your process.
Yeah, exactly. And it also can highlight where maybe you need more information. You might set yourself a goal of, get 5 new clients, and then you go to write that list of how you're going to do it, and maybe you're not sure. And so it highlights those places where, maybe you need to talk to your business coach, or you need to do a little research and learning, in order to figure out, well, what are the steps I need to take in order to achieve that goal? So it can really bring those to light in a way that feels actionable, instead of that vague just discomfort that I think a lot of times people have when they're not quite sure what step to take in order to get where they want to be.
I got you. Makes sense.
Yep. So it's all about maximizing your efficiency and achieving your goals, and achieving them in the fastest, most cost-effective way possible. And by taking that time to think things through and plan, it also gives you that opportunity to think through possible problems. This is plan A, but because you started thinking about plan A and you started thinking about the action steps necessary to go into plan A, then things are going to come to light that, oh, I need to make sure I remember this, or geez, last time I did this thing, this other thing happened that I wasn't expecting. I should account for that this time and plan for more time, or make some additional changes. So you can offset those risk factors that might end up costing you time and money because you took the time to think it through instead of just plowing forward with the first thing that came to
I
mind and
understand.
not really thinking about what comes next.
Yeah,
So can save you a lot of time and money by doing that.
yeah, and it's kind of like a preventative, like preventative maintenance in a sense.
Yeah, it really is. I mentioned my Wheel of Woe masterclass is one of my goals here. And that is all about those risk factors that end up costing businesses time and money, because they don't stop to consider them in advance, or they kind of come upon them and they don't even realize it. Sometimes they're very stealthy. And so it's all about, identifying those risk factors and figuring out a way to avoid them before they even become a problem.
Yeah, I get that. And you said it's the what class?
The Wheel of Woe.
Okay.
So if you go into the Business Witch Academy, into the freebies section, you'll find a link to get it.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely a lot to learn from that. Um, all right. Do you have any other questions for how to do your quarterly planning?
No.
Okay. Well, then I will let you get back to your day. Certainly, feel free to shoot me a message if you go to actually do your plan and then you realize you've got some questions.
Yeah, well, that'll probably be what happens.
It usually is.
So,
It's one thing to have somebody explain something to you. It's entirely different when you actually go to do it. So,
yeah,
you
when you
know,
lay stuff out, it's a little bit different, or you know, picking how you plan.
yeah,
So
yep. Or like I said,
it
you
does.
set that goal, but then you realize you have no idea how to achieve that goal. That's a big one.
Yeah, and that's kind of sometimes the hardest part. I feel like.
Yeah, yeah, sometimes it is figuring out that how. So, take a little bit of time before our next Thursday call to do your plan, and that way you can come into that call with your questions, and
Okay.
we can sort out, well, what are those steps that you need to take wherever you get stuck.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
No problem.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.